topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, good morning, Florida. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show, where we bring you the top experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. This is our 17th year now. For the last year, I've been going 16. This is our 17th year of bringing you top experts. And boy, speaking of top experts, we have got a great show for you. We are going to be doing our estate planning show, which, if you're here in the Florida area, it is an important area of law. No matter what age you are, we have got one of the top law firms in the state of Florida with the Florida Senior Planning PA. Good morning, Attorney Tom Olson.
Good morning, Steve, and all of your loyal listeners and YouTube listeners and now TikTok listeners. It's great to be with you and all of your crowd.
Hey, Tom, I got to tell you, I think I told you our last show. I remember, I think it was our second show, and I went, God, he's good at this. It's so, this fast. And then it comes to find out you have had a radio show for how many years?
Steve, the Olson on Law radio show is America's longest running legal radio show. I've been doing it for 40 years. For 40 years, I do it every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. I answer legal questions for people, typically take about 15 questions per hour. And you can check it out. You can listen to it at WDBO.com. Or if you're a podcaster like me, you can always podcast the radio show. Olson on Law radio show.
Tom, there are so many questions that people have that they don't understand. And I got to tell you, we have learned so much from you, Tom, the way you explain the law to people, and people have so many questions. And I want to tell people, because I have learned now from reading letters, customer service for your firm is so important.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, it's important to us to provide great service to all of our clients. Everything we do on a flat fee basis, so we don't have to keep track of our hours. The clients know from the very beginning what the fees are going to be. We offer a free initial consultation to talk about your estate planning. If you've got an existing will or trust, we'll do a free review of that existing will or trust. We can do that initial consultation in person, over the phone, via Zoom, whatever's best for you. Folks, it's free, and you're going to get a great education no matter what you do with it. You're going to come out with a much better understanding of what you need as far as estate planning is concerned and why you need it. Steve, not only do we talk about doing the basic documents for people, a will, a living will, pull the plug, a healthcare surrogate, financial power of attorney. That's just part one. Part two is we talk to all our clients about avoiding probate. People want to avoid probate because it's expensive and it takes a long time. We can assist all of our clients with avoiding probate. And the advantage of avoiding probate, of course, is making things simple, easy, inexpensive for your children. When you pass away, the additional benefit of that is they're going to make it so simple for your kids that they're not going to have a reason to argue with each other when mom and dad pass away. And that's very important, folks. You want your children to maintain their great relationship after you pass away. Best way to do that is get your estate planning affairs in order, make it easy for them when you die.
Tom, I got to ask, what is the biggest question you get on a daily basis from people who don't understand about estate planning?
I think the biggest question I get is that, Tom, I've got a will, therefore I'm not going through probate. My will says when I die, leave everything equal to my 3 kids, for example. Well, people are not understanding that simply having a will does not avoid probate. Will simply directs what happens to your assets when they go through probate. So a will in and of itself, yeah, you need one. It's important. It's a backup. It's a safety net. If we take all steps necessary to avoid probate, what your will says does not matter, because what's happened to your assets is governed by how you filled out the beneficiary designation forms on your IRAs, 401ks, and life insurance, how you make your cash accounts, checking, savings, CDs, money markets, POD, payable on death, to your kids. And then we have a great tool for avoiding probate on your home called a ladybird deed. It's a deed that I would prepare. It states that as long as you're alive, it is your home to do with that as you please. But when you pass away, your home will automatically go to your kids. No headaches, no hassles, no probate. We have free consultations to talk about your estate planning and avoiding probate. We have free booklets on all these topics, easy ways to avoid probate, how to avoid probate on your home. You can get them all by calling our office at 407-423-5561 or going through our website, floridaseniorplanning.com.
You know, Tom, I got to tell you, people, and I've talked to you about this before, when they hear estate planning, they think you've got to be a multi-millionaire to have an estate plan. And that's just not true.
No, it's not true, Steve, because, hey, if all you have is $20,000 in the bank and you say, hey, I'm not going to worry about it, how much can probate be for $20,000? Well, typically a minimum probate fees and costs is $5,000. So your kids are going to have to spend $5,000 to get $20,000. So it's you should take all steps necessary to avoid probate. And Steve, while I'm throwing it out there, a lot of people, both in the state of Florida and outside the state of Florida, they don't think about their timeshares. If mom or dad pass away with a timeshare in their name only, it's going to require probate to get that timeshare out of their name and into the names of the kids. So for you folks out there, if you think, oh, Tom, I've already taken all steps to avoid probate. Well, did you take care of your timeshare to avoid probate? Or if you've got friends and family members that live outside the state of Florida, but they own a timeshare in Florida or a vacation condo in Florida, please speak to them. Tell them that they need to avoid probate on those things. And floridaseniorplanning.com, we can help them with that.
Tom, I had just had someone write us, are the laws different in New York versus Florida?
Steve, as a general rule, the answer is going to be yes, but a lot of the states have adopted uniform code laws. So, for example, there's a uniform probate code that's used in both in New York and Florida. That's not going to mean much to the average layman, but there are some differences in states. So for example, Florida, for avoiding probate on your home or your beach condo or your vacant land or your commercial property, your investment property, Florida has a great tool for avoiding probate on your property in Florida called a ladybird deed. It's a tool to avoid probate on your real estate in Florida. We can use it even if you have a mortgage on that property. So Florida ladybird deeds are recognized in about 17 states throughout the United States, but not in every state. So there's a situation where there's a difference between state to state as to which tool you might be using to avoid probate on your real estate in that state.
We have so many New Yorkers who are moving here to Florida. And I'm glad a viewer asked that question, because I think once people move here to Florida, they should contact you and have you review their plan, because it might be different for Florida.
Steve, you are absolutely right. So if you had your estate planning documents done in another state and you've moved to the state of Florida, absolutely positively, you should have those documents reviewed by an attorney here in Florida. We will do a free review for you, floridaseniorplanning.com, or call 407-423-5561. If you did a trust in another state, that trust is probably going to be just fine here in the state of Florida. But some of the estate planning documents are Florida specific to Florida law. For example, your healthcare surrogate, your financial power of attorney, your living will declarations. If you did those in another state, it's likely that you're going to have to redo them here in the state of Florida. Steve?
We got our first question from TikTok. Kip wants to know, is it better to have an attorney like you draw up a will, or is it okay to do it myself?
Steve, I'm going to give you my biased answer, and that is your will should be prepared by an attorney. Steve, if you prepare your own will and you pass away and people look at it and say, what did that person mean? What are they saying here? This is confusing. I don't understand. It's not clear. It's not properly witnessed or notarized. Well, you're not around to fix it anymore. So, Steve, to prepare a will here in the state of Florida, not that expensive. Steve, so let me give you some pricing out there for your listeners out there. If we do the 4 basic estate planning documents for a person, a will, a living will, a healthcare surrogate, a financial power of attorney, those 4 basic documents for a single person is only $1,200. If we do those 4 documents for a married couple, 4 for him, 4 for her, the fee is only $1,500. So, Steve, I hope that your listeners will find that those fees are very reasonable. If they say, Tom, you know what, that's too much. Well, as I used to say with the yellow pages, let your fingers do the walking. You can call around. I'm sure you can find some attorneys out there. They're going to charge less than that. And I'm sure you're going to find some attorneys out there. They're going to charge more than that. But Steve, my recommendation is let an attorney do the will for you.
Another TikTok question. I am so glad someone's finally doing a show on estate planning on TikTok. There's a lot of us out there who don't understand even simple wills and trust. I take it that probate is expensive from hearing you talk. What makes probate so expensive?
Well, the Florida statutes recommends an attorney fee to be equal to 3% of the value of those assets that go through probate and an executor fee of 3%. So if mom passes away and all she owns is a $400,000 home and a $100,000 CD, Florida statutes is going to recommend $30,000 to run those assets through probate. That's the bottom line. Now, probate, it takes about 6 to 9 months. So not only is it expensive, it's a lengthy process. There's a lot to it. Florida statutes say that here in the state of Florida, you cannot do your own full administration probate. The law requires that you be represented by an attorney. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I'll just do it myself. Well, Florida statutes say no, you got to have a lawyer. Now, Steve, I'm going to say another misconception for people out there, and that is a lot of people come to us to do their estate planning, and the first thing they'll say is, oh, my neighbor, he got a revocable living trust. My brother, he got a revocable living trust. Tom, I need a trust. Well, a trust is a tool to avoid probate, but at floridaseniorplanning.com, we consider it to be a complicated tool for avoiding probate. Most of our clients are using simple tools to avoid probate. Steve, part of our mantra is we like to keep it simple, and our clients like that at floridaseniorplanning.com. Now, when might you use a revocable living trust to avoid probate? Well, if you own property in other states. If you've got a bunch of beneficiaries like 20 nieces and nephews that you want to include. If you've got minor children or minor grandchildren that you want to include in your estate plan. If you've got adult kids who have alcohol or addiction or spendthrift issues, those are all good reasons to use a revocable living trust. When you take your free initial consultation with FloridaSeniorPlanning.com, we're going to quickly help you figure out whether you should be using simple tools or whether you should be using a revocable living trust. Either way, we'll come up with an action plan. Once we agree on an action plan, we're going to quote you a flat fee for doing that work for you.
We just got a question that comes up a lot during our show, and it has to do with, choosing a power of attorney. And how do you do it, Tom, without hurting feelings?
Yeah. Well, whether it's a power of attorney or the executor of your will, the successor trustee under your trust, I tell clients to tell their kids, look, this is not an award. We're choosing who might be the best person, best child to take care of business or make healthcare decisions for us. What the kids really want to know is that when mom and dad pass away, their estate is being divided equally between all the kids. That's what they want to know. And that's what always our recommendation as a starting point. But if you said, Tom, I got 2 or 3 kids and I just don't want to pick just one of them to make healthcare decisions for me or take care of business for me if I'm not able to, well, fine. We can appoint 2 kids. We can appoint 3 kids to do healthcare business decision for you. When you say, Tom, I want to have all 3 kids on this financial power of attorney, my next question to you will be, okay, could any one of them alone take care of business with just their signature? Or do you want all 3 kids, require all 3 kids to sign off on taking care of business or healthcare decisions? So if you're really worried about hurting your kids' feelings, hey, we can put them all down as your agents and healthcare surrogates.
Tom, we spend most of the show educating the listeners and the viewers, but I want you to tell people why they should hire your firm when it comes to estate planning.
Steve, there's no substitution for experience. We have been doing this so many years, and I've trained the lawyers that are younger than me, and I'm training even the youngest lawyers that come into this firm. It is all about client satisfaction. That is so critical to us, that we have happy clients that walk out of here. They feel like they've got a weight off their shoulders, that they finally got their estate planning done. They walk out of here knowing what we did for them, why we did it for them. They walk out of here with documents that are simple and easy to read, that a layman could read it. They might walk out of here knowing what they did, but 6 months from now, they're going to say, oh, what did we, remind me what we did. And they can go, we put everything in a notebook, nice and organized. It is my belief that our clients can look at any of our estate planning documents, and as a layman, they can read them and understand them. And that's so important to us, Steve, because occasionally we'll have a new client that will bring to us a trust that was done by a previous law firm. Steve, that trust, it could be 3 inches or 4 inches thick. I don't know what the lawyer was thinking when they put this together for them. It is way beyond the ability of a layman to understand them. That's just not our belief, Steve. We believe in keeping it simple and writing legal documents that can be understood by clients.
Tell people how they can reach your office, Tom.
They can call right now. We have people standing by to talk to them for a free initial consultation, or for our free booklets on easy ways to avoid probate, or how to avoid probate on their home, or how to get free in-home care for seniors, how to protect your life savings from the cost of a nursing home. We have free booklets, workshops, and free consultations on all those topics. We have people standing by right now. You can call 407-423-5561. If you call after hours, just leave your name and phone number and mailing address. We'll get those booklets in the mail to you. 407-423-5561. Or our website, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com. There's going to be some people listening right now. They're going to be driving around later today and think, oh, I had a great question for Tom and Steve, but I forgot to ask. Well, don't forget, you can always email us your legal questions through our website, FloridaSeniorPlanning.com.
And again, when is your radio show?
My radio show is every Saturday at 11 on WDBO, so you can listen to it live streaming at WDBO.com, or you can listen to it on your podcast. It is Olson on Law Radio Show.
Tom, I got to tell you, we are so lucky to have you, and I just want to thank all the new TikTok audience. You have, God, I can't even tell you how many people have joined in today. Tom is with us twice a month. We will let you know when his next show is. Tom, thank you so much. You always give such a great show and great advice.
Thank you, Steve.
That's attorney Tom Olson. That's going to do it for us today. We'll be back again with you next week. And for TikTok, we will also be back again tomorrow. 10 o'clock and 5 o'clock Eastern time. That'll do it for us. Thank you, Rebel, for all your great work. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.